Welcome to the very first super special secret criteria, the criteria of demand. So making sure that right now there's enough demand for the product or the niche that you are going to enter. So this is very, very important because there's a lot of people out there who are looking for a product. They find one that they like and they can relate to, they get it sourced, they design it, they upload it to Amazon, spend a lot of time marketing it. And only then, once they launch it, do they see that no one's actually buying this product. And that's because there's no demand for the product. No one's searching the keywords that they got in there. And no one's actually using that product. Or not many people are using the product that they just put on Amazon. And therefore, their product doesn't get sales and it's a failure. So I'm going to teach you right now the 3 criteria of demand that'll help you not make that same fatal mistake. So the very first of those criteria, of course, is how much revenue is your niche currently doing? How much revenue are your future competitors making right now? And this will show if other people are getting sales in that niche, there has to be people going through searching for those keywords and buying their products. And therefore, there is money to be made for you, enough demand to be spread into your product too. The second criteria is your product in an uptrend? Is your niche currently in an uptrend? Meaning there's a lot of seasonal products, which are okay. I'm going to get deeper into that. But knowing if your product is a seasonal product, and is it in an overall uptrend over the last, say, 5 years? Or is it on the downhill? Is it a super short trend that is ending really soon? And as soon as you get your product up, it's going to be making no money. So identifying ahead of time that you're going to have a long-lasting product that will make you lots of money over the next 10, 20 years. Finally, the third criteria is basically validating the first 2 of demand and longevity. It's have the products right now been making money for a long period of time? And there is a really simple free app that we're going to download and use to make sure we identify that we're not looking at products that have just spiked because they've given a lot of product away or because they're in a really seasonal uptrend and you can't really extrapolate that data. So it's going to verify the first 2 criteria with the third. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so I've just pulled my note up here and I'm going to show you the golden 10-4 rule. Makes it really easy to remember, but this will show you, is there enough demand right now, consistent demand throughout a lot of products and a strong demand for a certain few products that you can take advantage of when you get your item up there. So the 4 of the 10-4 is $4,000. So at least 2 to 3 products are making $4,000 plus a month. So this will show you there is a consistent demand across a lot of products because there are at least 2 to 3 making $4,000 a month. Now, you want also the 10 of this rule is an additional, so as well as the 3 of them that are doing $4,000 a month, you want another 3 products that are making at least $10,000 a month. And this shows you there is a very strong demand, and there's a few big boys in the market that are taking most of the revenue, and that's exactly where you can move in and steal some of their profit and take some of their revenue. So this is the 10-4 rule. I'm going to come back to Amazon now and do a quick search for a splatter screen. This is an example product that we'll be using again and again throughout these lectures, and we'll even be sourcing this and listing it on Amazon to show you as an example. As you list your product, we'll list this with you. So here's the splatter screen. You can see that this is just goes on top of a pan pretty easily, and it stops the oil from hitting you in the arm and face and everywhere else all over your kitchen counter. So I'm going to come over here to Jungle Scout because this is the easiest way to do it. You can use the Unicorn Smasher. Again, that's on our website, but links to both. So right now we're using the Jungle Scout Pro. When you load it up and it's all here, you can see there's 18 things loaded. So that's just this first page done. You can see the estimated revenue right here. So this is basically all we're going to be looking at in this demand lecture. So 1, 2, and this one's very close to 10. So does it satisfy that there are at least 2 to 3 products are making $10,000 a month? Yes. And this one's making $34,000 a month, which does really help. And then you want at least 2 to 3 products making 4,000. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 products. So once again, yes. So this one would satisfy the demand requirement, at least right now on Amazon. That's the straight up, is it making money at this point in time? Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that they're in an uptrend or not in a downtrend. So we can come down to this little trend button and click that. And you can see that over time it's had a lot of spikes back in 2005. But from 2010 onwards, it's in a general trend. If I was to plot the average there, it would follow a upward trend. Going up, meaning they're getting more and more searched for on Amazon and more purchased. So search for on Google. And therefore, they're getting purchased more and more. I'm just going to click on this to take us over to Google Trends if you don't use the Jungle Scout app. So that's trends.google.com you can come to. And you can simply type in your keywords right here to see if they're in an upward trend or not. You don't need to go from 2004. I say go for the past 5 years. And you can see that they're in an upwards trend. And this is a prediction that it's also going to go far further upwards, meaning it's a good niche to get into because you're going to have long-term sales for the product and it's not going to die overnight. And it's not going to slowly die over the next 1 year and leave you with nothing after 12 months. So this one would be a good investment. The last thing we want to do to make sure that this is satisfying the demand criteria is we want to come back to Amazon. And we want to click on one. Let's go back. Let's see which one's making a decent amount of money. So I'll leave the top one. Let's sort by revenue first. What do you look like? Let's go to this guy right here. So one thing I want to point out too is rank. The way that they estimate this revenue here is they use the rank to estimate how many sales it makes a month. So the rank, everything on Amazon is ordered by how much, it's called a best sellers rank, which is this rank right here. And it's basically the top sellers, the one that make the most profit and revenue for Amazon, are ranked number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, there's a different ranking for each category that you're in, but you can see this is ranked 312 in all of kitchen and dining, which is an incredible ranking. Anything under 10,000, as you can see, makes pretty good profit. This one's up at 14,000. They're still doing 4,000 revenue, which is not bad, not amazing, but it's a good start. But the thing to remember is you want to make sure that you have a high best sellers rank, or your competition has high best sellers rank, and therefore making a lot of revenue. Because what we want to do is we want to also click on this rank, and you want to see that they have maintained it over time. So this was the top seller at 35,000 a month, 34,288. He has maintained it back in July, back in June and May. He was down here having a decent bestsellers rank. Let's go down to the next guy, 2,300. Again, anything under 10,000 is good. Under 5,000 is great. You can see, obviously, he must have ran out of stock here, got back in stock and started selling again. Don't mind my reminder. Okay. And you can see that he's selling consistently for the past few months down here. Now, there's an app called Keeper. This is it right here. It's called Amazon Price Tracker. And you can get it by saying Keeper, Chrome extension will do it. And then you can click on the Chrome link here and simply just add it to your Google Chrome. Add to Chrome, I've already got it. You'd click that button right here. It'll download, install, and pop up right here. You may have to close your browser, but it's pretty straightforward. And what happens is once you have this installed, and I've clicked on this product right here, you can scroll down, and under the item right here and in the short description, you can see that it plots some things on a graph. Now, this is all Keeper. This is not on the Amazon website normally. If you turn Keeper off, all this box right here will disappear. The one thing we want to know is the sales rank and the list price. Because if the list price is consistent, then you know that they have not run out of stock. And you can see that they haven't reduced their price dramatically in order to keep their sales volume up. And the bestseller rank, or the sales rank right here. And if you don't have Keeper or anything, you can scroll down and see the rank right here. And then it breaks down another rank within the very specific category, but that's much less important. This is the rank in the total kitchen and dining category. So it's at 2,377 right now. And you can see it bumped up to about 10,000 when they put their price up, you can see. And back when they kept the price at $23, it was maintaining a sales rank of a very impressive 200, 100, 112. That's incredible. So you can see that they have got long-term revenue and sales off this, because they were the ones doing, I believe, the grease splatter. Yeah, they're doing 13,000 a month, and that's at 2,300. So they were down at 100. So they were doing upwards of 50 G's a month at that. So you can see that this would satisfy the long-term profit criteria of demand. So meaning, yes, this is not just a once-off seasonal item, and it is making long-term profit. Really quickly to end this lecture, I want to show you a couple of different product types based on seasonality. For example, we have splatter screen. We're on Google trends.google once again. And this is going to plot splatter screen. I'm going to plot it over since 2004, which is since Google started collecting the data. You can see a very slight uptrend here overall, but once again, over the last 5 years, you can see it's a steady upslope here. What I want to compare it with is something like gymnastic or gymnast rings. The other great thing about this tool is you can compare directly. So you can see gymnast rings on average are below splatter screen, and if you wanted to type something insanely popular such as toilet paper, it's going to make those look tiny, because a lot of people search for toilet paper because everyone uses it, everyone needs it. So this is also a good way to see what's more in demand and what's going to make more money. So I'm just going to close these two right now. Oh, I guess I have to remove it. Remove. Don't add any more. Remove the toilet paper. Gymnast rings. This is a very interesting item because you can see every 4 years, 2008, 2012, 2016, it spikes. Now, if you've already understood what this is, congratulations. But this is basically in correlation with the Olympics. So every time the Olympics are shown worldwide on TV, the search volume for gymnast rings skyrockets. And I have a friend who's actually in the gymnastic rings niche and got into it earlier this year based on the last data, and he had a very successful but very small amount of time being really profitable. Now, I'm not against these trends or these seasonal products, but you just have to be aware of if you are in a seasonal product or if you are in a trend, because you could see that even though splatter screens make a lot of money long term, something seasonal such as an umbrella, that's a very interesting spike for an umbrella. Let's get rid of that spike so we can see more data. You can see it goes up and down. Obviously the winter time, the rainy time, it goes up and it comes back down in the summer. But if you compare that to something like splatter screen, it's not necessarily worse than splatter screen because it's going to have a lot more searches overall. You can see with that, splatter screen doesn't even come up. So seasonal products aren't inherently bad. You just have to be aware when you need a lot of stock and that you're not going to be making crazy money all year round. It's going to be inconsistent. But again, once again, even the downslope on a seasonal product can be much higher than a non-seasonal product. So that's up to you to decide. I hope you now know how to make sure that there's enough demand for your product before you invest all your money into it. Now we're going to go on to the second criteria, which complements demand, and that is competition. So even though there might be a lot of demand for our products, we want to make sure that there's not too much competition so there's room for us to come into the market.